Normally I like to do this in the morning, but I did not have time this morning, so I usually hit new page and then type in the date. So today is May 30th. I like to pick an icon emoji of how I'm feeling. I'm feeling a little stressed today, so, and then I will click on it and I add the date, today's day, which is Friday, the year, my mood, overwhelmed. And then I fill all of these out. So daily affirmation, normally I look up a list if I get lost or I'm not sure what affirmation to use. I'll just go with I'm strong and capable. I am grateful for, and normally I'll put an emoji here, like a little dot. Sunny day. I usually put 3 things. And then something I'm proud of myself for. We're trying to. And then if I have a trepidation, I will add it here. I'm not going to do that right now. And then at night, sometimes I like to come back if I remember and put a highlight. If I do this at night, which I sometimes do if I'm not able to do it in the morning, like this morning, I'll put a highlight. So something that was positive that happened today. I laughed at work. Okay, so that's how I fill out my gratitude journal. This is on a template. I'll link the template below. I think it is. But yeah, that's how I fill out my gratitude journal. I actually did this every single day when I was going to school in 23. I know fall of 23. It was amazing. I think it really helped me. So yes, that is my gratitude journal. First, I decided I needed to get a visual look at what I need to declutter, digitally speaking, and then a couple of things that are not digital that I need to declutter because I wanted some mental clarity as to what it looks like in hopes that if I saw it visually in some capacity, then maybe I would not be too overwhelmed. So I'm doing this on Canva. I used the whiteboard feature on Canva, and I really like this feature. I am putting the notes on each post-it note, and then I'm connecting each one with arrows both up and down and then left and right. So that way I can get, again, a visual look at what I need to do and not get so overwhelmed and think that I have to do it all right now. So that is what I'm utilizing this tool for. And I feel like after looking at this has really helped me see what I can do and not catastrophize over not getting something done or something decluttered all today. Next, I am taking this journal. I call this my personal journal. And this is the journal that I use to log personal thoughts, something that's difficult going on in my life. This time I actually used it in a slightly different way. I used it for personal journaling, but I actually came across while I was trying to delete some photos, I came across this photo that I took of one section of the textbook that I was reading for one of my classes. And it was a human growth and development psychology course. And there was this topic in one section of the book, and it was in regards to, I believe, the middle adulthood region. And this book talked about hardiness, is what they called it. And hardiness consisted of control, commitment, and challenge. And I found this very useful. I think that it really helped bring clarity and gave me a solution, which is what I was looking for. So I actually used this journal entry that I'm writing here that you're seeing. I used this moment to write down some notes as I would in a classroom. And I wrote down a few key points, which I'll pop up on the screen. And from there, I worked out one main problem that I have. So, my main problem right now is feeling very overwhelmed. And I wrote that as my problem or challenge in this case. And then I came up with a solution that was within my control. So, I really feel like this helped. It helped me break it down to something manageable that I could both understand, and also it just really helped redefine how I thought about decluttering and also feeling very overwhelmed. So I highly recommend to use this concept if you are feeling overwhelmed yourself. And I'll actually pop a little screenshot of what is in the textbook on the screen, and I will leave the reference. I will leave the reference in the description box if you are interested. It's not like a regular book that you can check out at the bookstore. You would probably have to buy it on Amazon if you did want to read the psychology textbook. But if you're just interested in that little portion, like I said, I'll pop it on the screen. The next journal I am going to use is this one, and I actually just bought this journal. It was so pretty. I'm using this journal as my what I'm calling positive journal, and in this journal, I want to focus on the positive in life. And I think that it is very easy to go in the negative direction. For me, I have been battling with this for, I would say, probably the last 2 years because I had a really tough time at UNC Chapel Hill. It was stressful, the normal stress of a student, but I feel like my stress was added onto in the year of 23. And with the advent of, not one, but two lockdowns on campus, fall of 2023, and then expecting to graduate in the spring of 24 and not actually graduating in the spring of 24 and having to wait until basically spring of 25 to finally graduate with my bachelor's, it was just a really frustrating time because it was obviously stressful, but I also wanted to graduate and I wanted to have that degree and I wanted to apply to jobs that mostly listed a bachelor's degree as a requirement. And so for me to not have that degree, even after all I've been through, it was just really frustrating for me. And so I do feel like I've been trying to come back to positive thoughts. I think I had that definitely before 2020, but even before 23, I do feel like I was more positive. And so I'm trying to get back to that. And in this journal, I basically came up with 3 prompts to do this. So the first prompt is a negative whatever event. And I personally broke this down into 3 pillars. You could break this down into possibly 4 pillars or maybe more, maybe 5 or more. Um, I personally break this down into work pillar, school pillar, personal pillar, but you could also break it down into a health pillar as well and or a finance pillar. But I tend to put that under personal. So to keep it simple, I only use negative school and work event or pillar. But in the prompt, I put the negative whatever event, negative work event, negative school event, negative personal event, and then I write it down in a paragraph, 3 to 5 sentences. And then the second prompt is taking that negative event and putting a positive spin on it. So I will pop up an example on the screen. One example, every time I make progress or feel I am content with my situation, something new arises, and I feel like a disaster and failure again. I have is basically that's the negative personal event. So I'm taking that personal thought or personal event and I'm putting a positive spin on it. So my positive spin is this grants me multiple opportunities to perfect my interest and practice in the art of spontaneity, which is a portal to enjoying life and present moments. And then the positive improvement, which is the third prompt, I have these happenings are kindly encouraging me in a positive direction so I can change for the better and stop putting this aside. And when I say stop putting this aside, I mean stop procrastinating, basically. So that is how I am utilizing this journal. I just started this and I really feel like it helped me a lot. So that is how I am positive journaling. And those are my tips so far on how you can journal to increase happiness, to gain mental clarity, to declutter your mind. And I hope it was helpful, and I hope that you maybe use these tips or the prompts and it helps you sort out whatever is going on in your life. And if you would like, you could leave a highlight from your day in the comments. If there's anything else you want to share in the comments as well, please feel free to. But yeah, I just thought maybe thinking of something happy and ending on a happy note would be the best way to end a personal journaling type vlog situation. So, yeah, I will see you in the next video.